So this will be my review on the Redback shoes from Australia. Upside down. There we go. The Redbacks with that logo, made in Australia. So yeah, let me begin by saying the first time I had these shoes on, it was a black pair, and I bought someone bought them for me at a show in Portugal, and I've never looked back. Best shoes I've ever worn in my life. I had those shoes for about 10 years. I told probably 100 people about those shoes. I've bought two more pairs since then. My sister's bought one. I bought for my stepdad. I think my sister's bought two. I've told so many people about the shoes. They lasted me over 10 years, my first pair. The stitching is the best I've ever seen. These soles will last you a lifetime. These are the best soles. I don't know what to make it out of, but these are the best soles. They are indestructible. The leather is absolutely of the highest quality I've ever seen. Just a superb shoe. They're easy to fit in. They mold around your feet. They're soft, comfortable. They're just amazing. Best shoes I've ever had. I couldn't be happier. You put them on in 2 seconds. You just put your fingers through here and then you slip them on your feet. Yeah, best shoes I've ever had. So before my first pair gave in, by the way, how they gave in was they perished on the sides. Yeah, this was my first pair, perished by all of this just giving in, and you would see this black powder coming out. So it would basically just puff open. Yeah. I believe the word for it is oxidation or something. I don't know. Apparently when they get wet that happens, but nevertheless they were over 10 years old. They did get wet, but I always let them dry out, and I always kept them in my cupboard, which was dry and always open. But they lasted over 10 years, so I was more than happy. Like I had got my money back tenfold. So to continue the story, after the before they perished, I bought these two. So I still wore my old pair, and I didn't wear these for a while until they gave in, and then I started wearing these. Now this pair I probably wore about 50, 60 times. This pair, I kid you not, I've probably worn about 10 times. They're still brand new. You can look at it. It's still brand new. Brand spanking new. So they got, like, I only wore them inside, by the way, indoors. I never wore them where they got wet. I never wore them where they were out in the elements, in the wild, in the bush, in the sand. I wore them like I would wear office shoes. They would never get wet. I'm talking about my new pair now. And again, stitching impeccable, like the best I've ever seen. Leather impeccable. Just the suede, yeah, this is just like beautiful. The soles underneath, I mean, you don't get better. The problem is, they've been standing in my cupboard for a few years, and again, my cupboard's not moldy. There's no mold in my cupboard. There's no dampness in my cupboard. Nothing. My cupboard stands open. These never got wet. Now the problem is, when I got my second pair, they looked a little bit different. This looked a little bit different. It looked a little bit more bluish tint, like a little bit lighter. It's almost like they've changed something. I don't know what it was, but the soles, yeah, just look. I thought it was probably like an update, or because they knew. But my previous pair like this didn't have like a slight see-through bluish tint. All right, they just didn't look the same at the bottom. They looked a little bit different. So yeah, look at all this coming out. So what happened was, I just wore them one day, and I just noticed they just deflated. I just heard air come out of them, and when I looked, I was just shooting out this black stuff, and these soles completely perished. Now I glued them on this side, I glued them there on that side, but the glue comes off, and then it's the whole process again. They start going and black shit just comes shooting straight out. So Yeah, that was disappointing. And I think I've worn these 50, 60 times. Never got wet. They were not in a damp cupboard. They were in a cupboard that's dry and it's always open. Same with this one. I wore these about 5 times, and look at this. It's just completely like boom shakalaka, my bro. Like what the actual fuck. So, excuse my French, but these looked different. And so this is what's coming out of these shoes. Apparently it's called oxidization or whatever. So when, I contacted customer support in South Africa, but I bought these from Australia. So the agents in South Africa are not responsible for these. They did not sell me these. But this is my experience with Redback Australia. Again, it's got nothing to do with the company in South Africa. And yeah, I'm just highly disappointed. These are $3,000 each, and I have to throw these away. They're not offering to fix it. Then they did offer me to replace one pair at cost price, at wholesale price. I'm not interested because I'm not going to wear these again. I'm not going to promote these again. This is not a slanderous video of Redback. I'm just stating my story. I bought these shoes. They didn't get wet, and apparently, according to them, this has happened because they got wet. They didn't get wet. Why would I destroy 6,000 rands worth of shoes? Why would I lie? So perfectly new, brand new, beautiful shoes, but this isn't gonna work, bro. So that's my story about Redback. What you make of this video is what you make of it. You decide what you want to do with this video. Look at this stuff coming out of here. It's just absolute. So the rest of the shoe is absolutely amazing, but my second two pairs, I did notice that the whole bottom stuff looked different. So I'm not saying anything. I do know that these are old, but they were not standing in a damp, wet place. They were not getting wet, but they were old. But I weren't wearing them because I was still wearing my previous pair, which lasted over 10 years, which I have max respect for. But these new pairs, I don't know. It's just, look at this. It's just like you can't wear these. And it's like when that started happening, I could just hear air coming out of the stuff. This is rock. This is brilliant quality. The sole, but it's in between the sole and the shoe is this rubber stuff that they put in that just this happens to it. So you decide what you want to make of this video. I'm not slandering a company. I'm not slandering a name. I'm not defaming them. I'm not saying anything other than I'm showing you what my story is with these shoes. So this is $6,000 down the drain. So yeah, that's my story.